All right, so for this week's functional mobility workout, we're gonna get the heart rate up a little bit and we're gonna load the joints in a way that's maybe a little bit novel. And you will need a plate for this. Something like a 5 to 10 kilo plate is perfectly sufficient. So the first thing we're gonna do here is just some good old fashioned ground to overhead. This is a great way to get all the joints warmed, to start to get the heart rate up, to get some good movement throughout your whole body. So I'm holding this with an overhand grip. My thumbs are on top. I'm gonna start with a hinge. I want the hip nice and high. I'm loading the hamstrings. As I come up, I flip, that plate goes overhead. Now it's facing horizontally towards the ceiling. And I come right back down. Touch, up, touch, up. I'm gonna do 10 of those. From there, still holding onto my plate, I'm gonna set my feet a little bit wider. I'm gonna go from a front-loaded front squat into a halo. So now I'm taking that plate all the way around. Each time I come back up, I'm gonna halo the opposite direction. This again just gets some good range of motion through my shoulders. I'm gonna feel a little bit of a stretch through my triceps and my lats on the upper back, as well as warming up that squat. Next up, working a little bit of T-spine mobility. Again, I just kind of warmed up my upper back and my triceps. I'm gonna do the same thing going into a good morning. So this is almost like a front rack good morning. I should feel a lot of stretching, a lot of mobility through this upper part of my arm, the things that are gonna allow me to get into a good front rack while simultaneously loading those hamstrings. From there, I'm gonna take the feet nice and wide. So I'm working a little bit of lateral movement here. I'm gonna take my plate in front of me, laterally lunge on one side, take a bent over row, stay low, shift over to the other side. You're gonna go back and forth for 10 total. All right, next up with my plate here, I'm gonna set up in a half kneeling position. Feel free to put something soft underneath your knee. And I'm gonna rotate towards that front leg. And then I'm gonna come back. I'm trying to stabilize the hips, make sure big toe is pushing into the ground. I'm breathing, just using a little bit of load to help me create more resistance against my hips, right? Hips are tucked under, glutes are nice and tight. And then I'm gonna try to just move that rib cage around as far as you can. The exhale happens when you twist. Still working on a little bit of single leg work. Now we're gonna start to get some plyometrics in here. And this is a great way to work speed and precision in your footwork, particularly if you're starting to play around with like athletic stuff, like you wanna do a game of pickup basketball or something. So I'm gonna shift my weight onto one leg. I'm staying on the balls of the foot for this. And I'm just gonna take little hops up and down to my plate and back. And again, the smaller the plate, the easier this is. If I wanted to make it more challenging, I would take it up a little bit higher. 10 there. That's a wrap. So it's an easy way to add a little bit of resistance, functionality, and just a more dynamic fun to your mobility workouts. And they're gonna allow you to get your heart rate up and really get looser faster.